apologize. But speaking of freestyles, there was this particular freestyle platform that most people would go on. Time for me to plug this. Even though I'm an actor, y'all, sometimes I might act bizarre. All right, so by the way, my name is Versatile, aka Alkebulan Trust, and we can when it comes to all things reactions. Before I get into that, let me see if you want to shout out real quick. If not, that's fine. But like I said, leave it in a live chat, and I'll see if I can actually give you a proper shout out. So yeah, I had to watch a bit of it just to understand what this was. All right, so I'm gonna have to react to the latest thing. We'll come back to this another time. But yeah, the Tim Westwood apology. So he apologized. All right. Let's see what he got to say.
So if you suspect that alcohol is messing with your life more than it's enhancing it, you're just one click away from fixing that.
First
on
of
the
all,
next page,
how can alcohol enhance your life? Does that even make any sense? That's why some people have problems with alcohol, because they believe it enhances their life.
Is it enhance instead of messing up?
Enhance. All right, so basically, I'm going to react to the Tim Westwood's apology, and just to give you a quick backstory, if you don't know, basically Tim Westwood he is a radio DJ. Sad, this is what's so mad, yeah, because I have to give it credit where it's due. Yeah, the credit I need to give due is the fact of he is. No, forget that. I'm not giving him no credit. Look, end of the day, he positioned himself as the go-to guy when it comes to hip-hop in the UK. Yeah. After these allegations happened, yeah, like properly, like there was always rumors, always. However, after certain things happened and the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation said their piece on did a documentary, I think it was, men flee to Nigeria. So I need Very Dark Man. Yes, I need VDM to say something, basically. That's basically what I need VDM to do, because then he'd be able to, then Tim West would be able to go back to Nigeria. Come out of Nigeria, go back to the UK and face his front and, get me, be prosecuted for the things that he's been doing. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to keep it as simple as that. Let's keep it moving.
Because the report found a considerable body of evidence that it failed to investigate properly.
There has been a massive apology around the Tim Westwood situation. Where do we even start? Firstly, I made a video around...
Did he apologize? And even if he apologized, all right, go to jail then, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Hand yourself into jail. Do yourself be like G-Dep from Bad Boy Entertainment. Hand yourself into prison then. Let's go.
3 months ago, this got 140,000 views, explaining a lot of Tim Westwood allegations, and he since has had an apology on behalf of the BBC come out. Tim Westwood has had an active...
No. You need, if you're accountable for those actions, you need to come out and say apology, and you need to, it's magic, because one of the most iconic freestyles is on his platform. Chip and Ice Kid. Yeah, you know when Wiley took Chip and Ice Kid to freestyle on that platform. If you know, you know. It's like one of the coldest freestyles. It's one of those freestyles and one of those moments where you're like, Wiley knows talent when he knows talent. I wish Ice Kid could release more music if he could, but here's what it is. Get me, where's Ice Kid at? Part 2.
Channel over the years and posted a lot of the top hip-hop content in the UK, and hasn't been active for the past 5 months because of this controversy. Apparently has made his way over to Nigeria now. This come from a post on X, and people were saying Tim Westwood is now an Afrobeats DJ in Nigeria, and of course people are not happy.
Oh, I need VDM to really get him out of it. Anyway.
With this either. Someone tweeted, Tim Westwood is accused of sexual misconduct with multiple black women, so he moves to Nigeria to continue his DJ career. I don't know who is more shameful, Westwood.
Fesify, this is why Fesify, this is why I unsubscribe from me. This is why I unsubscribe from your channel, right? I unsubscribe from your channel and I stopped coming up to your channel and leaving comments because I felt like you're moving like Tim Westwood, not in that what he's been accused of, but culture vulture vibes. You can easily say the person's name. Easily. And it's not like they're not a notable person as well. They're a journalist. In fact, you know what? I think it's because obviously they follow me on Twitter as well, on X, should I say. And when I say they, I'm talking about Lorraine King. Like, let me double check. Yeah, like, I kid you not. I don't know if you can see that. I kid you not. Like, you follow each other. Okay, I don't know if he's actual journalist, but she's a proud record collector. Okay, but she's talked about a lot of issues properly. You know what I mean? A lot of genuine issues. You know what I mean? So I need you to give her the respect that she deserves. And any other name that you mention in this, just give it. Say their name. It's not that hard.
Sorry.
Like, think about it. I think this is what I need to start doing myself. So maybe I need to, what's the word? Lead by example. When I'm reading people's comments, say their name. So let me do that. In fact, I think I remember replying back to this comment as well. And I did put, I need VDM to speak on this. Because it was this year, I remember.
Or the promoters and club owners who are booking him. I thought he just had a show out there and went out there to film some content and come back, because he has actually been questioned a few times by the police in the UK. But again, he's announced another 2 shows in Nigeria. He got some sort of Lagos mixtape of the year as well. He is massive out in Nigeria. Maybe because of this situation, he's trying.
This is sad. But when I think about it, I'm not surprised.
Trying to start a new life over there. He's got the police trying to get him on numerous charges, and also the old company he worked for, the BBC, have apologised over his behaviour at their company.
I'm Chichi Zindu, and I'm a BBC News correspondent who's investigated Tim Westwood's conduct, including while he worked at the BBC. The BBC board has apologised over missed opportunities to tackle bullying and misogynistic behaviour by Westwood.
Yeah, because guess who else they've been doing that to? You know what I mean? Tim Westwood ain't the only one. You know what I mean? And then they want people to pay TV license. Yeah, the TV license goes to the British Broadcasting Corporation, and then all these things happen. And you want anyway. Let me not talk.
I was once his colleague and encountered some of his behaviour whilst I was a newsreader on BBC Radio 1 and 1 Extra.
It's time for the BBC Radio 1 Extra News with Chichi Azunde. Chichi, you suffer from a rather perturbing camel toe most days, even when you're wearing a skirt. Are you interested in this latest product, which would help disguise that rather protruding, raging camel toe of yours?
An independent...
Huh? No. What did I just hear?
You're wearing a skirt. Are you interested in this latest product, which would help disguise...
I was once his colleague and encountered some of his behaviour whilst I was a newsreader on BBC Radio 1 and 1 Extra.
It's time for the BBC Radio 1 Extra News with Chichi Azunde. Chichi, you suffer from a rather perturbing camel toe most days, even when you're wearing a skirt. Are you interested in this latest product, which would help disguise that rather protruding, raging camel toe of yours?
An independent report highlighted a series of incidents and allegations it said amounts to a considerable body of evidence that it failed to investigate properly. The DJ has previously claimed all allegations were false.
He worked there for so long. He was a massive part of the BBC on different platforms. He was even given artists advice on coming up. He was trusted at the BBC, and he'd done this investigation all this time later because he had power there and they needed him. When they no longer need him and he's moved on his life, now they come at him all these years later.
Yeah,
and the BBC just come out who have the most.
When I say I just realized the documentary I saw was that, not this one, but yeah.
Responsibility they're government funded and just say, we've done an investigation now and we're sorry.
That's not good enough.
We're Moscow, and we've been standing up for half in New Yorkers' faces for over 100 years. Chances are, if you've walked the streets in New York in the past, I don't know, century, you've passed
Does that change anything? No.
Now that I'm older, realise that, you know, it was grooming and predatory, but at that time you didn't want the shame because, you know, I'll get the blame, not him. I'll get the blame because I'm
interesting. Ty, yeah, if you know, like the UK rapper Ty, may he rest in peace, and that he's spoken on Tim Westwood before, so this is nothing new.
no one. So I just kept quiet because then you won't get pointed and looked at, oh yeah, that's the girl that, you know, accused, you know, Tim of sexually abusing her when she was underage.
I didn't know how old he was.
It was these stories from 18 black women who came forward in 2022 to detail what they described as unwanted predatory sexual behaviour and touching against the former BBC Radio 1 DJ Tim Westwood that triggered this report.
Welcome to the Radio 1
Tim Westwood was known for his love of hip-hop, championing the...
Oh, here's the thing. I don't think he even loved hip-hop, because if he loved hip-hop, we wouldn't have been doing this nonsense. Two, it's a case of opportunity. I remember when I was working on radio, yeah? This was between 2009 to 2011. Like, I remember, like, our mentor, like, she told us about Tim Westwood, basically, in terms of, like he's starting, well, his parents or whatever, like, his parents, I think he said that I think they said, his dad, like, is a archbishop or a bishop or something like that. And they're from Kent or some, not to say that you can't be from these type of ends and not be into hip-hop culture. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the fact of his whole persona. He's basically Drake before Drake. Do you get it? He's Drake before Drake. He's just fake with the, yeah, chilling with the big dogs. What are you talking about, bruv? Like, no. Anyway.
The genre on UK radio from the early 90s. The BBC today apologised, saying it fell short because the report found a considerable body of evidence that it failed to investigate properly.
20 years Tim Westwood was at the BBC. That is a very, very long time. You're telling me complaints couldn't have been investigated any earlier, 1994 to 2013, or the exact dates. And more than 120 individuals have contributed to this review, and thousands of records from the time were examined just recently. But Tim Westwood has now clapped back with his solicitors addressing these allegations that have been ruining his life. He's literally been getting confronted by women in public about what's been happening. If he goes anywhere, he's being filmed on the train, etc.
The reality is, if you've done something that is immoral and unethical, people are going to confront you one way or the other, especially if you are a public figure. And if you get confronted, and let's just say, for example, if you were completely innocent, because it could happen where you're falsely accused of something, and you know what I mean? However, if you're falsely accused of something, like, look, you can easily just say, look, they've got this wrong. I'm going to fight this in court, this, that, and the third. So I apologize if you feel certain way about me or whatever. Like, I can understand where you're coming from, blah, blah, blah. Let the court have to say all the evidence will play out, and I'll show that I'm innocent. That's what he should say. If you're innocent, I can't tell someone how to act if you're innocent, because if you're innocent, there's certain actions and words you were saying naturally within that moment. Do you get it? And if you're guilty, you're like, why are you trying to play victim for? Like, you're not. Anyway, like, let me not talk, man, because anyway, I ain't trying to get my channel banned or anything. I'm just gonna keep it real. All I'm gonna say is this: look, actions have consequences. Like, look how long it took for them to finally arrest Sean Combs. And okay, yeah, he hasn't been convicted yet, but his court date is coming up, next month? Anyway.
Etc. People are assuming these are true, and he has no chance to prove himself yet.
From them?
They're all false allegations.
False allegations?
Period.
So they were lying?
Period.
Yeah?
And I will prove that.
So when are you going to prove it?
As soon as I get my opportunity in trust, I'm ready.
Because haven't you been arrested recently?
No, I haven't been arrested, please. Allow it.
Don't allow me, bruv.
Allow it.
Yeah? So you didn't do it then?
Tim Westwood's lawyer responds to this situation.
Okay. Look at that. I can understand. Obviously, he's on his walk or whatever he's doing. He's being confronted. It's a tricky one. But at the same time, he could have just said, look, I'll prove that I'm innocent. That's it. And apologize. Thank you for confronting, or I don't know. Listen, like I said, I can't tell someone how to act if they're properly innocent. I can't. But if you're guilty, then listen, facts will come out one way or the other. Evidence will come out one way or the other.
Situation, saying he denies the allegations of criminal and other misconduct and confirms he's never had sexual interest in children under the age of 16, and he has never acted in a predatory or sexual manner and did not and does not present any risk to young women at the BBC nor elsewhere. He has denied
that is false. There's so many times I've heard certain things with the way he conducts himself where it's so inappropriate. Anyway.
Opportunity of presenting a defense to the allegations set out in the report as a result of them being vague and the nature of the allegations and the ongoing police investigation.
He is now facing historical sexual abuse allegations from multiple women. He strongly denies all allegations of inappropriate behaviour, but as the BBC have pointed out, there is a police investigation still ongoing into it.
In the book, you'll discover how to become an expressive powerhouse, how to produce emotion on cue, essential act.
The police had only confirmed that it was investigating a man over allegations of non-recent sexual offences in London, 1982, 1985, 2010 and 2016. Very well spread out. A Met spokesperson said on Monday a full file of evidence remains with the CPS for their consideration, and detectives from the Met continue to make inquiries with support from prosecutors.
Today's report did find that there was no widespread or significant knowledge about the allegations, but it is critical about how BBC management handled complaints about Tim Westwood, highlighting that a response to some of the incidents it found could have been a referral to police. In response to today's report, the BBC board stated there is evidence of bullying and misogynistic behaviour. The organisation fell short and failed people, including our own staff, who had a right to expect better from us.
So really, Tim Westwood right now at any point could be arrested, or he could be innocent and it could be dropped, we don't know. But right now the CPS is sitting on some evidence. If they get together a little bit more, they could just say, let's go and arrest Tim Westwood and take him to court. We've got enough now at any point. With these kind of investigations, the police always take.
So it's got me thinking, can he be, I don't know the right words I want to use here, but is it possible for him to be extradited, if that makes sense? Like, for example, I want to be careful with the words I'm saying here, but like Russell Simmons, for example, has fled to Bali, and America can't go to Bali to, get him extradited to arrest him. Or could they? I don't even know. I think there's a few countries like that. So it just got me thinking, is it, what would happen? I'm going to find out now.
Take long anyway and don't really convict many people. Someone said 1 in 100 even make it to trial in sexual offense crimes, but also it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago these crimes been committed. You got to track down witnesses, people that was there. Their recollection of events can be not as clear on what was happening. It's a lot more complicated when time has passed and some people are not even around to tell their side of events. And this could benefit Tim Westwood when going to court that so much time has passed, but a thing going against him is it's new numerous women, and 2016 was the most recent one, which is still 9 years ago, which is crazy. We're seeing with the young Philly situation how long things can take to get to court. Obviously, he's in Australia, a similar sort of justice system over there. These things take time. So imagine with the Tim Westwood case, how complicated and how many people involved. They're saying 120 people were dragged into just the BBC's investigation, and the police are expected to do a lot more looking into. Talk to people getting called out years later. My last video was Central C versus Traplaw Ross, an interesting.
Relax, we don't need to know about that. Yeah, Fesify it sounds like you're not confident of him getting arrested and convicted, but I am. Do you know what that is? Because over the years I've learned and I've seen that regardless, every action has a consequence. Every action has a reaction. Do you get it? That's the reason why he fled to Nigeria, because he knew eventually he's going to get arrested. Eventually he'll get convicted. Like, don't get that twisted. Like, there's reasons why certain people do certain things, isn't it? You know what I mean? Is he going to? It's just a matter of timing. She didn't know how old Tim looked his whole life. MMT, okay, whatever. Timmy Savile, you see what I'm trying to say? 1982, how old is Tim Westwood? Over 40 years ago, they should investigate him for being a vampire. The craziest thing is, in most African countries like Nigeria, a big man like him can have a 13. Nope. I know what you're trying to say here. Nope. And I'm not even gonna respond to that. You know why? Because they ain't got no profile picture. Get me? Look like a racist, look like a troll, basically. If you know, you know. I'm not silly. Don't get that twisted. Like, but anyway. He about to get. No, this is why VDM needs to step in and help bring true justice. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? Because that. I think there's only a certain amount of people that can really help the situation. But yeah, man, let me know what your thoughts are on that whole situation.